this Euro 2024 Groups D2F picks edition of the Premier League Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. You can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8. Sign up with our promo code PLGP to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Welcome, everybody, to the Premier League Gambling Podcast, or it might be the Euro 2024 Gambling Podcast. They might have changed our name, but no one's told us. So it's one or the other. On the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, my name is Malcolm Bamford, coming to you from Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of England. Today is Thursday, the 6th of June. We are here too. It's the second part of the groups preview for Euro 2024, which starts next Friday. We have groups D, E, and F. The Christmas party fund has gone through the roof. It's now Lapland via Las Vegas. All thanks to Mr. Barry Penaluna. But let me tell you, people, he's not a well man. He's under the weather. I don't know what's wrong with him. There's a rumour he might be on his way out. So, Barry, what the hell's the matter with you?
I mean, I could be dying. I've been ill all week. I'm getting no sympathy in the chat. Everyone's just moaning they've had to wait an extra 5 minutes. Lee Smith is saying this could be the Euro 28 podcast by the time I get here. But I've literally spent all week bunged up, head, throat, nose, can't taste, can't smell. Probably got that daft thing that came around in 2020. I don't know if it's a thing anymore. But I feel absolutely lousy. I've not slept well for days. I'm just sweating all the time. I feel absolutely rough. So I know you've been on Twitter about your lovely week you've been having.
Yes.
Meanwhile, I've never made it further than the bed or the sofa. I've been rough as anything, and I'm still rough as anything.
Well, the sun shines on the righteous, Barry, and I have been having a lovely week. I think my favourite bit of the show currently might be the 5 minutes before we start, where everyone just gets stuck into either me or you or both of us. They're all just having a lovely time. Courtney was first in. Callum. And who else is there? Lee's there. Austin. Morning, Austin. How you doing, Michael? Connor. Up the Oldham. Luke, I haven't seen Luke for a little while. They've got a new right back. They're going up, apparently. Harry's here as well. Benedict as well. So welcome, everybody. I just finished watching the cricket. Did you watch the end of the cricket there, Baz?
No,
USA turned Pakistan over in the World Cup. Went to a super over. And Pakistan, USA scored about 19 or 20, and Pakistan couldn't get there. Lost a wicket. Bowler dropped his arse a bit. Bowled a couple of wides. Actually, I searched the price just to see what price America were, thinking they might be really fancy, but they were only 7-1 at the off, which I suppose in T20, because it is quite a volatile format. But yeah, cricket's coming home, Baz. Congratulations.
Sounds like a fixed outcome to try and pique the interest of the American audience, I reckon.
That's a very cynical approach, Barry. I know Munaf's obviously Pakistani American, but his dad was full on in a huff, apparently. Munaf's dad, because Pakistan got beat. So Munaf's been giving his dad loads of stick today down in Houston, Texas about that one. I want to tell you about my lovely week, shall we, Baz? Well, we talk about England first because I went to the match on Monday. It was the first time I'd been to watch England. It was all right. The game was a bit shit, but we were sat in the very back row at the Gallagher, so we could sit, stand, we could chill out. It was just a bit weird. Like, do you know who really likes England, Baz? Like, England fans really like England, it turns out. So that was just, it's weird. I've never stood in a stand with supporters from all over the place before, but it was another one of those examples of everyone self-policing, like the fun. Like, there was a certain way of supporting England. Like, it was the old England till I die in the 10 German bombers crowd. And if you had a different shirt on, there was 2 Wolves fans in the toilets. They were getting stick for having their Wolves shirts on. Obviously, all the Sunderland fans wet their knickers about all the amount of Newcastle shirts. But everyone was just doing it wrong. If you didn't know the songs, you were doing it wrong. If you had the wrong flag or the wrong shirt, or you weren't aggressive enough and you didn't want to kill everyone. There was a song, Follow England Away, that people kept singing, which obviously must be for the people who follow England away, as if you need to keep singing it because that makes you better than me. So it was all a bit weird. I enjoyed some of the football. I enjoyed watching Eze in the first half. He looked very good. I enjoyed watching Wharton when he came on. I saw Lee mention on Twitter yesterday that it has become the current zeitgeist to stick your tongue firmly up Adam Wharton's backside. And that is true. However, he did look really good. And because he's the sort of player that Bob is, he's a bit of a sort of a holding, just a tidy midfielder. I was like, making Bob, Bob, watch Adam Wharton. And he was great for a bit. And I'll tell you who else was good, Baz. I've never watched him sort of neutrally before, was Trent Alexander-Arnold. He's just a fucking good footballer. Passes, technique, a real technician. All his passes were pinged in. Like, there was nothing half it. You could just tell he was that little bit better, even than some of the other England players. So, yeah, that was all right. And then Tuesday, I went to St James's Park. I was shitting my pants for the entire time. I was shitting my pants all morning, nervous energy, 3 nervous poos. I got my hair cut, so I looked great when I went viral. I ate yogurt and stuff like that because I thought that would make me play better. A yogurt, that'll sort it out, wouldn't it? Yeah, we were in the away changing room, which was a little bit disappointing, but then I did have a wee in the same urinal that Kylian Mbappe had a wee in earlier in the Champions League this year. So that was good. And then the game started and I didn't cover myself in glory, Barry. The problem was, I think I'm a little bit old. So in my mind, I was making loads of good saves. But then my body wasn't like... So what we lost the game 6-4 and the first 6 shots went in, Baz. I got nutmegged for the first one. One of them wasn't my fault, I'll give you that. I got nutmegged for the first one. I should have tipped one over, which I didn't. I had it covered all the way until I heard it hit the net. The first I knew about it, that I wasn't going to save it, was when I heard it hit the net. I did an absolute classic. Anyone who's played football with me before, I know a lot of my mates listen. I did the big thing where it's going wide. So I've shouted wide, spread eagle my arms. It's hit the post, I come back into the 6-yard box, and someone stuck the rebounding. But then with about 10 minutes left, I made a really good save pass. Because otherwise, I would have been suicidal. I would have been absolutely furious. I made a really good left-handed save, tipped it onto the post, and that saved my day. So that was that. I put a couple of photographs on Twitter and that, so go and have a look. And I think that just about covers the fun week. Off to London first thing in the morning for the baseball, Baz, to watch the Mets and the Phillies Saturday and Sunday. Going to some honky-tonk bar tomorrow night to drink whiskey and eat ribs and that. So, good weekend. Do you want to talk about the England squad today, or Slabhead got left out?
Tell you what, you've got the life of Riley, this week. Like, I thought you were going to share some of your pictures for the YouTube crowd. I thought you were going to share your action shots.
Well, I've got one here, but I don't know how to get it on the screen. But it will not surprise you to learn.
Well,
I don't know how to get that. I can put it in the background, but all you can see is...
Yeah, that doesn't work.
That's not good to anyone, is it?
That's hopeless.
Although, that bloke in the top corner there does look like you, as Lee pointed out, which was really quite funny. Did look like you were trolling me. So, yeah, that's the end of...
Michael Roberts in the chat says he took the Malcolm saves ladder. It was the worst bet of his life. So
under 1.5 saves.
Yeah. It didn't work out. England squad, yeah. I'm happy with it, and I've seen a comment in the chat about how Lewis Dunk there. I think the fact that the biggest thing people are moaning about today is the fact Dunk's there and not Branthwaite. I think says a lot about how bold he has been.
I agree with that.
If you told me several weeks ago there would be no Henderson, Rashford, Grealish, and Maguire in the England squad, I'd have thought you were mad. And it's one thing Southgate's been absolutely hammered for years, is sticking with the favourites regardless of form. And on form, you would struggle to make a case for those four. I think Maguire would have been there. I don't think he's fit. He missed the end of the season, and from what I've read, it just sounds like he's not fit enough. He's not ready. So I think that's probably the only reason for Maguire. And that was the bigger surprise for me, because Gordon and Eze deserve to be in there more than Grealish. Rashford doesn't deserve to be in there on form. And obviously it's good to see the likes of Wharton and Mainu coming in ahead of someone like Henderson, who we all think should have moved on. So yeah, I like what he's done with the squad. I think there's still the question marks about who's the back four going to be, because I still don't know which four would be his first choice. But yeah, some bold decisions. I liked what I saw from the squad, I would say.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I understand what you're saying about Dunk. Like, I saw Dunk up here 3 weeks ago for Brighton, and he was fine. He was excellent. A different level, though, do you know what I mean? And that was a different game where Brighton got 1-0 up, and he's sort of like a bit of a Jamal Lascelles type. If it comes near him, he kicks it. Like, if it moves, he kicks it. If it doesn't move, he kicks it till it does. That's kind of a thing. But I don't really mind that. Obviously, Trippier will have to play left back for at least a couple of games until Luke Shaw sorts himself out. Trippier was so obviously just a fish out of water the other night. Every time his body shape, he would get the ball from if they were playing it around the back, they play it out to him, and he was just turned square inside. There was no way he could just go down 1-2 touch little pass up the outside. He couldn't do it, and it does take away a huge part of your offense if you're doing that from left back. But so that's not ideal. But Shaw will be back, and you've got to remember, ultimately, I couldn't give a shit. So interesting. We'll see. We'll see what goes on. We're going to have a look at Groups D, E, and F tonight. We'll do the £1 million / outright show early next week. And then the first pick show, probably Wednesday or Thursday, with the first game being Friday night. We'll cover all the weekend games next midweek. So that's the plan between now and the kick-off, the opening game next Friday night, which is Germany versus Scotland. Let's tell you first about the NBA Finals tipping off this week. The network is giving away $100 cash and a $100 gift card to the listener who wins the NBA Finals prop contest. Head over to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/NBA Finals to enter. And not to be outdone, the Hockey Gambling Podcast guys are running a Stanley Cup contest with $100 cash and a $100 gift card. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Stanley Cup to enter. And while we're on the theme of the NBA playoffs, Underdog Fantasy have launched Pick 8, which is live. Creator entries up to 8 picks now. And Underdog will automatically double flex your entries so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win. More picks to make, extra ways to win, loads more excitement. You can win up to 325 times your original amount. So don't miss your chance to try it out before it's gone. Use our promo code PLGP to claim your special pick and first-time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code PLGP. Tell you what I forgot to mention, Baz, just briefly, my St James's Park appearance. Really weirdly, I can link this back to Nottingham, Barry. Notts County's owners played on the opposition. I played against the 2 Notts County owners, 2 relatively young lads. Do you know anything about them? Do you know who I mean? No?
No, I won't have a clue.
I'd say young lads, probably late 30s, early 40s. Big, tall, weird, giraffe-looking ginger fella. And then another quite a young, good-looking lad. Decent. The one didn't look like he should be able to play football at all, the big giraffe-looking one, but he was quite decent. And then someone on the night time sent me a link, and it was them 2, the Notts County owners. So how that came about, I've got no idea.
I have one other thing. Before we move on, I keep meaning to mention a little bet on next season's Premier League. Or, well, not even next season's Premier League, really, but a managerial bet. I think I told you, and I keep meaning to mention it on, yeah. I've backed Southgate at 12-1 to be the next Man United manager. What do you think about that?
Well, it depends if he's going to be the next Man United manager or not.
The reason for it, I think there's good theory behind it, because there was a period of time, wasn't there, where there was a lot of stories that they wanted Southgate, and that seemed to gather some traction. Now, if they did, it was never going to get announced before the Euros. It would only ever come up after England have gone out, and then before the FA Cup, everyone was determined. All the media were determined. Ten Hag was sacked. He was gone. That was it. Definitely gone. Has that FA Cup win done enough to keep Ten Hag in the job, or are they just hanging fire so they didn't sack him just the day after the FA Cup? I think Ten Hag's not going to be there, and it just makes me wonder whether they're waiting for England to finish, if they really did fancy him. Because honestly, I don't think those owners will care what the fans think about Southgate. They'll not care what the fans think. If they think he's the right man for whatever reason, Brailsford, for example, will make those sort of decisions. He'll not care. 12-1 for Southgate. I'm just getting it out. Everyone thinks it's mad. I'm telling you, Southgate will be next Man United manager. 12-1.
Depends how cheap he is as well, because old Jim Ratcliffe appears not to want to pay anything for anybody the Titans get. He's got proper.
He'd be free, won't he? He won't have to pay a thing for him.
Yeah. That's another tick in the box. Just want to point out tonight's viewing on the TV is Badass Brides, Barry, on MTV. What I think basically, because I have to watch it on mute, I've got about 90 seconds to choose a program which I think is going to have the most cleavage in it. So last week we had Danny Minogue in the dating show, and I thought Badass Brides. So yeah, we're doing all right so far. 17 minutes into Badass Brides, not a bad watch on the old mute there, Baz. Group D, I've got to do baseball in half an hour, Baz. Get on with it. France are the favourites here at 9-17, -188. Netherlands second in, 11-4, +275. Austria 8-1. Poland at 10-1. To qualify, France are 1-20. Netherlands 1-5. Austria 9-10, -111. Poland 5-4. +125. France are the second favourites outright behind England for this tournament, and therefore trading at the price they are for the group. I think it's fair enough. Obviously, coming off runners-up in the World Cup. They're strong, Barry. They're strong all over. They're really strong in midfield. Camavinga and Tchouaméni in there. Mbappe supported by Giroud and Griezmann, plenty of experience in the squad. We saw them in the World Cup, and they're going to be there or thereabouts. We'll talk some outrights when we do that show next week, but they're absolutely worthy favourites in this section here. Hard to pick a hole in them. Netherlands are a team I'm not convinced about, Barry. They've got a really experienced squad. You could even use the word aging if you didn't want to use the word experienced. Van Dijk, Daley Blind, Gini Wijnaldum, De Roon, Memphis Depay, all names that have been around forever and ever. Carthorse is back. We've missed Carthorse. He was a feature on the show when he was at Man United, but we can get Carthorse back on the show again. And then they're pinning their hopes on, it's like Cody Gakpo and Gravenberch. And yeah, they're all right, they're decent. But you know what? They don't blow your skirt up to the really. Like, they don't move the needle much for me. Players at that level. So I'm just not really very enthused by them. They were in the same qualifying group as France as well and lost both games 4-0 and 2-1. Austria are third in. They finished second in qualifying to Belgium. Decent record, won 6, drew 1 and lost 1 of their 8 games. They got a 1-1 draw in Belgium. They beat Sweden 3-0. They're coached by Ralph Rangnick, and I think they'll be all right. They can compete, certainly with Netherlands, and I think they'll be better than Poland in this group. Poland came through the playoffs against Estonia, first off, and then they beat Wales on penalties because they'd finished third in the group behind Albania and the Czech Republic. It's not great form. I watched them against Wales, the eye test. They weren't very good. We backed them both games, I think, and I think we did all right. They won, but I don't think they were very impressive. And like I say, it did take a penalty shootout. So yeah, I'm not hugely impressed here. Picks wise, France are rock solid favourites, but second is open. And I think Austria have got a chance to pip the Netherlands for second space here. Austria to finish third, equally in that group, will be good enough for them to qualify. Since we spoke last week, I've gone through all the results, written them all down. It's all on there. Whoa, look at that, baby. And Austria are going to finish second in this group. So Austria to qualify, the 4-5, minus 125. That's a great price. And the France-Austria 1-2 is 6-1, Baz.
We're on the similar lines. Yeah, good start. As you say, Poland properly scraped away here. Third behind Czech Republic, beat Estonia, and then needed a penalty shootout against Wales as well. I don't give them much of a shout. They've lost games to Albania and Moldova in qualifying. And they only won 4 of 10. I could see them blanking here. I honestly think they might get nothing from this group at all. France, what can you say? Obvious favourites. The thing that stood out was obviously they finished ahead of Netherlands in qualifying, and they won both the head-to-head games as well. 7 wins and a draw. The only defeats outside of qualifying is 2 friendly defeats over Germany in the last year. But that head-to-head record stands out for me over Netherlands. The fact they beat them twice in qualifying justifies them being favourites in the group here. I agree with you with Netherlands. I think they might struggle a little bit. The thing that stood out in their form is they've got no good form against big teams. They've the 2 defeats to France. They lost to Italy, Croatia, Germany, and they just can't seem to get a result in the games against the bigger sides, and I think that might do for them here. And you've mentioned Austria, finished runners-up behind Belgium, pushed Sweden out of the group. They only lost 1 game in qualifying. That was 1 defeat to Belgium. That's their only defeat in the last 12 months as well. And there's a lot of green in there. They've won a load of games. So exactly the same pick. I've gone for Austria to qualify. I've got them at 10-11, so a slightly better price. Might change a little bit. We know a third can get you into the next round anyway. But I'm low on Poland. I don't see them getting much at all. And I, like you, think Austria will be hard to beat and they can definitely push the Netherlands in this group. So my pick is also Austria to qualify at 10-11.
Nice. Now, you mentioned in Australia, I did the Belmont show last night. If you're looking for some horse racing picks, and Sean legitimately asked if the USA were in Euro 24.
I did tune in. I heard that.
USA, if you had Australia in, Baz, that's what they call it, a World Cup. I'm pretty sure there's a name. There's a name for that tournament, and it's not Euro 2024. Rhythm, RITHMM. If you're betting on NBA player props, you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm gives you a menu of the best player props for every single NBA playoff game, making it easy to go through and find the best props to put your money on in seconds. Rhythm's predictions are backed by tons of data scientists and quants, fine-tuning the algorithm. Rhythm pairs its predictions with player prop graphs to help feel even more confident whether you're making bets or setting a DFS lineup. Claim your 7-day free trial by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/RITHMM. Next up, Group E is on the next page. We have Belgium, who are the jollies here. Belgium will go off at 11-25, minus 227. Second in are Ukraine at 4-1. Romania trading at 13-2 plus 650, and Slovakia. Got to be careful not to get me Slovenians and me Slovakians mixed up. Slovakia are at 11-1 to qualify. Belgium 1-20, Ukraine 2-5 minus 250, Romania 23-35 minus 150. Slovakia are even money. You want me to lead off, Baz, don't you? Because you're poorly. This is a nice draw for Belgium. They've got some good players. Sounds like an obvious thing to say. De Bruyne, Lukaku, Onana, Doku. But also, they're really capable of disappointing. They do this a lot. They were poor in the World Cup, let's not forget. They beat Austria in Group F, qualification. I'm not going to bet them here. I'm not convinced. They'll probably be okay because it's a fairly straightforward section. I just don't think they're a great price. And there is in the next group, there's a team at a very similar price. In fact, exactly the same price who I think are a much better bet. So I'm not exactly feeding Belgium, but I'm not rushing to get them in my betting slip either. They'll just be there or thereabouts. Benedict is tipping up Ukraine here at 4-1. Ukraine finished behind England and Italy in the group, came through the playoffs against Bosnia and Iceland. Did get 2 draws against England in qualifying. And I mean, they've done well to get here, really, without playing any home games. They've had to play all their home games in Poland, obviously because of the situation domestically there. I don't know about Ukraine either. They're just not doing much for me. The team that I like in this group is Romania. They finished 5 points above Switzerland in their qualifying group. Won 6 and drew 4. They've got a real sort of spirit about them, Romania. They're on the top of their cycle at the moment. And it's hard to split Romania, Ukraine, and Slovakia. And I think Romania are a really good price, at a bigger price than Ukraine. Slovakia had a nice run through in qualification. Luxembourg, Iceland, Bosnia, pretty straightforward. But against the better teams, you've got good comps here in home and away defeats to Portugal, but wins against those little teams, Luxembourg, Iceland, Bosnia. Similar to teams in this group, they're quite difficult to beat. They only lost 3 in the last 15. So these 3 teams, Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine, they're all going to take points off each other. They really could cut each other's throats here. I'm going to take Romania to win in that little 3-team fight and finish behind Belgium. So Belgium to win the group and Romania to finish second is 4-1, Baz.
Well, I've done similar to you. I've gone for a different pick, but I sort of took Belgium out of the equation. I do think they'll win the group. I think it's a fairly straightforward group for them here. But I agree. I wanted to just look at the other 3 in isolation, and I don't think there's that much between the 3 of them. So I went for a team not to qualify, and I looked at the 3. And I, like you, I'm not big on Ukraine. I just don't fancy them. And I look, they're the biggest odds not to qualify in the group. They're second favourites behind Belgium. And I think they might fail to get out of it. I think there will be points shared amongst these 3 sides. So the pick for me in this group is Ukraine not to qualify. It's 7-4 plus 175.
Let me look at my standings here, Baz. I'll tell you exactly where Ukraine are going to finish. 3rd with 2 points.
Yeah, they're not going through that.
That's close, you know. I've got quite a lot of teams on 3rd on 2 points here. Yeah, they're in. It's goal difference, Baz. Ukraine are out on goal difference. So there you go. That's a winner. Congratulations to you. Group F is Portugal. Lead us off at the same price as Belgium, 11-25, minus 227. Turkey 4-1. The Czech Republic, or Czechia, maybe they're called nowadays, 11-2 plus 550. And debutants, Georgia. That is Georgia over this side of the water, not Georgia, Augusta, etc. 16-1 to make it out of the group. Portugal are 1-25. Turkey 7-25, minus 357. Czechia 13-18, minus 138. And Georgia are 11-8, plus 137. Bet365 still got them listed as the Czech Republic. So I'll probably just go with that because I'll keep forgetting. Portugal are the only team who had a 100% record in qualifying. Scored 36, conceded 2 in qualifying. That's a decent record, isn't it? That's all right. This will be your man Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you remember him, Baz? This will be his last tournament. And they should be good going forward. There's no reason not to. I've faded Portugal just about every tournament I've watched them for years, and I don't know why. Like, do you remember I did it in the World Cup, Baz? I've done it like every game Portugal will win. And I've probably quite a lot of money down because of it. Now, they're the same price as Belgium for the group, but I much prefer them at this price. So I'll be putting them in ACCAs. I've got a little group winner ACCA to come in 10 minutes or so. So I think Portugal are a great price here. Say not all minus 227 shots are the same, and I prefer Portugal to Belgium. Turkey, very much a dark horse here. I backed them outright at 100-1. They topped their group, beating Croatia and only lost one game. They did win away in Croatia as well. They won 5 of 8 in that qualifying section. However, recently the form hasn't been great. They lost friendlies against Hungary and Austria. They got duffed up 6-1 by Austria. They're opening games against Georgia, and they need a good win to build momentum. That's quite a big game, Turkey. If they don't win that, they're going to be up against it. The Czech Republic finished behind Albania in qualifying on goal difference, 1-4, drawn 3. They've got a new coach since qualifying. All things have changed. Even Hasek comes in. The big striker who had a really good Euros in 2021, Patrick Schick, you might remember, scored that sort of 50-yard chip against Scotland. A little bit injured. So he's a bit of a doubt. So I think the Czech Republic look vulnerable. And Georgia, very much the minnows of this tournament. It's nice to have a smaller team, a new team in it. Now, they finished 4th in their group, Barry, but qualified via a quirk of the Nations League. So they beat Luxembourg in the playoffs. And then Greece. So it was a decent result against Greece. I watched the games against Greece, and they were both absolutely dog shit, by the way. Terrible games. Georgia neither wanted to nor looked capable of scoring a goal, and they went through on penalties. If you're looking for a comp against the decent sides in the group, they got turned over by Spain 7-1 and 3-1. So they look really up against it. So, picks-wise, I think the Czech Republic look vulnerable. They're going to struggle to score. So the Czech Republic not to qualify is at even money. That's a really nice price. But I found a bet on Sky here, a Sky bet, which might be my favourite bet of these entire previews, Baz. And it is Georgia to score under 2.5 goals is 5-6 minus 120. So for this to lose, they either have to score in all 3 games, which I don't think they're capable of, or score twice in one game. And I don't think they're capable of that either. This is a great bet. You won't have to wait forever for this to cash as well by the end of the second week. This could reload you for the knockout phases. So Georgia under 2.5 goals. This is my nap, Barry. 5-6 minus 120.
Yeah, I like that. And it fits in with where I've gone a little as well. I think it is a weak group. Portugal, obvious favourites. You've mentioned the form coming into it. And they did have a fairly favourable qualifying group, but still, that winning habit's always good to have coming into the tournament. I think the squad does look really strong. Definitely a dark horse this. And like you, I've always sort of wrote them off going into tournaments. Not so much on this occasion. Turkey did well to top their group, but you've mentioned their recent friendly form, no win in 4 defeats to Italy, Austria, Hungary, and a draw with Wales, bringing that up. And the Czechs, I'm not sure about either. They qualified behind Albania, won only 4 of their 8 games, though they did push Poland out. But I think Georgia's a weird one. They finished 4th in their group, and as I say, they've only won 2 qualifying games. The game against Greece is probably their biggest win over an opponent, because if you look at any recent games, there's no form of them beating any teams of a decent standard, even of the standard of the likes of Turkey and Czech Republic. I just don't see anything from Georgia. It's a step too far for them, and I think Georgia will end up with 0 points. No points for me. 4-1 for Georgia to get no points. I like it. I think it's good value. So yeah, pick for me in this group will definitely be Georgia to get no points at 4-1.
In my list here, Baz, I have Georgia picking up a 0-0 draw with the Czech Republic. So that would stymie you. Maybe the Czechs might nick one late and keep you in the game. So, okay, nicely done, Baz. I've got a couple of little parlays in here from picks across both shows that I like. The first one is going to be an outright treble. So a 3-team parlay on England, France, and Portugal, all to win their groups. That pays 21-10 plus 210. I don't see any dangers for them. I think that's a really nice price. I love this next one too. This is a little double on 2 teams not to qualify. That's Scotland and Georgia. That pays 2-1. That price of Scotland, even money to not qualify, is still jumping off the page. So that makes that bet. Scotland and Georgia not to qualify at 2-1. And because I worked out all the scores, Barry, I could then add up all the goals, couldn't I? And that led me to a highest scoring group pick. So the highest scoring group is Group C. Group C is what group's that? Is it the Romanian? No, it isn't. Oh, hang on. What Group C? 7-2 groups. What the hell? Yes, Slovenia, Denmark. It's the French one. Right, that's not the right answer. The answer is the Romanian group. What's that?
This is a
Group E.
shambles.
There we go.
What an absolute
Right.
shambles.
It
Group-
is an absolute shambles.
Group
The
E.
answer is Group E is going to be the highest scoring group. 16 goals are getting smashed in between Belgium, Slovakia, Romania, and Ukraine. And Group E is one of the rank outsiders, Baz. It's 5-1. Group D is the 5-2 favourite. That's the French group that we mentioned earlier on. But yeah, I like Group E at 5-1. I've just got lots of 2-1s going on. It's very, very competitive. Everyone's beating each other 2-1 in that one. And we get to 16. So 5-1. You can all take the piece. But I've just given you a 5-1 winner. So shut up, Callum. Baz, anything else for you to add?
No, I didn't pick any parlays or anything yet. I will be a little bit more invigorated, I think, by the weekend's show. And I'll put a few more bits and pieces out then. But that is all from me. I'm going to go lie down.
You big mincer. Right, so I'll tell you what, Badass Brides is hotting up as well. We finished at just the right time, yeah. We'll have to do this next show on Monday night, Baz, because obviously I'll be travelling back from that London, going to see what's going on in the nation's capital, sort it out. I'll go and have a word with the politicians. I'll tell you what song the boys came out of the England game the other night. Bob and his mate and Betty, and the three small children, all sang "Da da da da." Fuck the Tories all the way home. That was their new song. Bob didn't even know what a Tory was, and said something mildly racist. So I had to put him right there. I was like, "No, man, you idiot! It's a Conservative Party." So yeah, that was a good song. Cheers, everyone. The chat was buzzing tonight. The chat was absolutely the highlight, much more entertaining than me or Barry. So if you don't ever join us live, come join us live. It's fun. Yeah, like, rate, review, say some nice things. We'll be back on Monday night with the £1 million / outright show, which we've got a good record on. We won on the Prem, we won on the World Cup, so we are 2 for 2 on that. So that's what we'll do on Monday night. Thank you, Barry. Don't die. If you do die, there'll be a space open. So I'll let people know and you can apply within. Until then, we will see you down the road. Cheers.